Mahou.Club. It is Pixie. This is Jill and Jer. This video is one that we have wanted to do, honestly, like since shortly after our DID diagnosis in 2021. So, but obviously recent events have kind of pressed the urgency of this a little bit. So I wanted to just make a whole video all about all the theories, all of the most common, like, questions, I guess, questions and conspiracy theories about our diagnosis. So this is the Am I Faking DID video. Strap in, it's gonna be equal parts serious and annoying and, like, obligatorily defensive for some of the shit that's been said about me. But then it's also gonna be a little bit of a fun time later, because if you guys are very in on the Pixie-Locks recent and DID lore, you might know that we made a bingo card of all of the predicted hateful and like critical things that we knew would come our way after we came out with our diagnosis. And you know how we knew those things is not because we're really lying and so we could predict all the backlash because we knew it was wrong. It's because every single other creator with DID or person with DID that's online has gotten all of these comments pretty much. It is like clockwork. You can always count on DID creators and just, again, people with DID existing online getting fake claimed in general, being met with hate, harassment, disbelief, and then also like, yeah, these weird specific theories and shit. So let's just get into it. So let's start this off with the most common theory and the most common argument that is brought against me to try and disprove my mental illness, which is that my DID diagnosis isn't a real legit diagnosis and it's just a diagnostic impression. I admit that I made this kind of confusing because of the things that I said in previous videos. I've explained this to multiple people that have brought it up in comments and literally had them go, oh, you're right, never mind. I still don't believe you anyway. So I don't know, I guess I've clarified this to multiple people and had it go over successfully, but I never thought I would have to do it in a video because I didn't think the hate would ever get this bad and stay this bad, but obviously it has, and it's still constantly brought up to me saying, your diagnosis isn't real, it's just an impression. And yeah, I definitely made this confusing because I said in that video or in a prior video that I had a diagnostic impression of DID before I got my proper official full diagnosis, which was true. And that was a diagnostic impression because it was given to us by our therapist, who does not have the power to officially diagnose me. Some people will stop here and call themselves medically recognized, and honestly, I respect that because it is really expensive and it can take years to get tested. So anyway, but because I have this internet presence, I knew that this would not go well. I knew that I had to have it like etched in stone on my grave by God, or like the internet was not gonna fucking believe me. So we paid $2,200 and we got a proper psych eval done, which was by psychologists, not therapists. And in Canada, at least, a diagnosis is given verbally. The psychologist told me to my face, how do you feel about receiving this diagnosis? How do you feel? And I'm so fucking lame. I literally said, so I can tell people I have this, right? Like I'm diagnosed with this. I literally said those words and she said yes. So on paper, does it say diagnostic impression, dissociative identity disorder? Yes, because that is the impression of the report that the psychologist uses to inform her diagnosis, which is given verbally. I have said this so many times and I can say it till I'm blue in the face, but just the absolute misunderstanding of the health system that has been weaponized to try and debunk my mental illness is absolutely ridiculous. So I hope this finally explains that situation. I am officially diagnosed with DID. Yes, the paper says diagnostic impression. Yes, in a prior video I said a diagnostic impression is not a diagnosis. I thought that people would just know that I wasn't lying, because why would I lie about that? And we're gonna get into more why would anyone lie about this and why would I ruin my life on purpose in a second. But yeah, it is given verbally, and I embarrassingly specifically asked I can tell people I have DID, right? I have DID, right? You're telling me, right, for sure? And she said, yes. Are you okay? And I said, yeah, I need to go call my mom. Hi, I just wanted to add a little note that, yeah, it seems like some people think that you get a certificate or some sort of official standardized, like, card or document or ticket or something, but the diagnosis is given verbally, and whatever's written on the paper is the way that those professionals do it. There is no standardized national or international, like, card that they give you. It is on my record, of course, that I'm diagnosed. There's no official certificate or stamp. People keep asking for proof, but there is no magic golden ticket that says I have DID. That's just not how it works. So I guess I actually apologize for making that so confusing. It's so many things, so much information that when I was making my video about my DID diagnosis for the first time, God, did I have a million things on my mind, and did I not remember that, oh, I said something about diagnostic impression, this is diagnostic impression, I have a global audience, they may not understand how it works in Canada, so I guess I do apologize for making that confusing, but also don't be an asshole and tell people that they're lying, because I don't know, I'm not stupid. I wouldn't ruin my life like this on purpose. So why would someone fake DID? In the recent McLean ISSTD Matthew Robinson slideshow, they give a plethora of examples and theories as to why people would malinger dissociative identity disorder, usually for attention, validation, and they included that with just anyone who has a social media account having followers is seeking attention and validation, which I guess, but not in a disordered evil way, in a way that anyone with a baking channel I guess wants you to see their cookie. Stupid analogy. What was I talking about at all? Oh, why would someone fake DID? Monetary gain was another big one. I already mentioned that in the last video. I did think it was very funny that they criticized seeking community as one of the aspects. I mean, if someone was faking DID, yeah, doing that to get into the community would be bad. Just go join a book club. But to criticize people with DID for seeking community on the internet in 2023 is very funny. So yeah, I guess the overall theories and all of these, if you can say something bad or negative about a person, especially a mentally ill person, a person with DID, it's been said about me, for certain. So I have a note here about the bingo. I saw how universally and consistent hate towards DID was online, so I made a bingo to try and make things less scary, and also to kind of, yeah, and a little bit enact control, so that when I would inevitably get comments from people saying you're just riding the trend, or you're another musical theater washed up who wants to roleplay, you're just LARPing, these are your OCs, all of these comments that are just fucking on every single person with DID's post, it kind of would soften the blow and also gamify it, so I would check mark every time I got them. I definitely lost count at some point. But let's get into the bingo, folks. I've been holding this beauty for so long. And of course, yeah, the fact that I made a bingo was immediately criticized too. I think they were trying to spin that as a I knew the harm I was doing thing, but I've already explained, I'm just gearing up for the inevitable ableism. Yeah, this is the part of the video that might be more fun, because what can you do if not laugh? When you get diagnosed with an extremely serious, really scary mental illness that has implications about your entire life history and your entire life future, and you know that the internet is going to rip you to absolute shreds for it no matter what can you do but make a little bingo sheet and try and go, ha ha ha, life's a joke. I promise I'm okay, guys. I know I probably seem really f***ing tired and fed up, and I am, but I'm fine. In all her glory, of course, Jill made it pink. You don't have DID because you are on YouTube. Of course, you can't be a content creator and have DID. That one sounded more outlandish and funny, but The McLean presentation literally is like, no, you really can't be on YouTube and have DID. Like, the DSM says so now. Your BPD is just severe. This one I get all the time. I think that a lot of the, like, conspiracy theorists, like the fucking Pixie Lux conspiracy theorists, think that I was fishing. We don't need to mime fishing. They really think I was, like, fishing for this diagnosis, and I was, like, I don't know, what did they think? I was up studying all night and like asking leading questions or something. I don't know what like super villain they think I am, but I was so like almost annoyingly transparent and earnest in my like, I don't know, it could be DID, it could be OSDD, it could be PTSD, it could be BPD, it could be schizophrenia, it could be OCD, it could be ADD. I was like, please test me for everything under the sun. And I did get tested for everything under the sun, except for autism, because they don't have that kind of doctor there. But they said, you should get that checked out. Yeah, I guess I was just extremely open to the idea of having very severe BPD. I would have been so okay with that. I would have been like, let's go and do steps. But that's not the case. So, here's a big one. Following the trend. The number of times people have told me that I am just hopping on the trend. It doesn't help that I'm actively on TikTok. It doesn't help that I like look, I don't know. I'm 25, but I feel like I give adolescent vibes. That's probably the trauma. But yeah, this one is extremely, extremely, extremely common. And it's another one that is said to pretty much every DID creator. So yeah, it's really exhausting being told that your mental illness is a trend, because I absolutely promise you I'm gonna be here in 30 fucking years still having DID, whether I'm fully fused or not. I'm still gonna dissociate and have all the PTSD and shit. Like, that one's enraging. You have dyed hair. This is another one that should be a joke, but people literally will say. I have seen this several times, not just to me, but to others. I've seen this in like DID hate group memes about how to spot a faker, and it'll literally be like eyeliner, colored hair. Unironically, I think the reason why a lot of people with DID and OSDD have colored hair or piercings or tattoos or dress really differently is because we have an identity disorder. We have a complete disconnection between who we feel we are and the body that we're in. It makes so much sense to want to do everything in your power to alter that. There was a like Twitter trend thing going around where people were sharing their photos of them from 2016, and God, just from that year alone, you can really tell all the different parts that are out and the way that they dress and the hair that is dyed. Like, we've always dyed our hair like once a month, and we used to change it like every month, every 2 weeks. So our hair has been every single color in the book, and some of that again was just like Jill having fun and shit, but it is really, really freaky to look back and see like Flora with her blonde hair and her pink streaks in a bun, and like Veronica with her lavender cool ombre hair and her f***ing tits out, and like me making this face. Like, so yeah, it's like a stupid stereotype, but it's also, there's a little bit of truth to it, because like, why wouldn't you want to change the way you are? That's also why people with DID wear wigs. Trauma not bad enough. I knew this one was gonna come, just because I haven't shared what caused my DID in any way, shape, or form. So the internet just doesn't know, and of course, because they don't know, they think it doesn't exist. I feel like I can leave that one there. Attention seeking. Again, good old McLean video. I was predicting it like the fucking week I got my diagnosis. Again, there are enough things about me that bring attention. Weird rainbow house, loud, annoying, influencer, all the same thing. Definitely don't need to pretend to have an extremely serious condition. Definitely don't need to spin an absolute inescapable web of lies that would destroy my life to get more attention. Oh my god. You are on TikTok. I didn't relook at the bingo until now, and it's kind of really funny. Yeah, this goes along with you are on YouTube, and again, this one should be funny, haha, but the f***ing McLean presentation, man. They really said if you have DID and you're on TikTok and you don't just completely hide it and lie and pretend you're one person, then you are one person. Suck my dick. Factitious disorder. This one has definitely been thrown around. Factitious disorder is the name of the disorder for, like, when you pretend to have another disorder. I explained that really horribly, but yeah. You didn't act like this before. I figured that when we started letting, like, our parts come out, I guess that would be like Jill even letting me fucking come out and talk to you guys. Obviously, like, you're gearing up for all kinds of comments. But I think the funny thing is the comments that say, you never acted like this before, you've live streamed for hours and hours, you've been on YouTube for 8 years, we would have been able to tell. Those ones are always from people that, like, exclusively are hateful towards me and never liked me. And all the comments saying, like, this makes so much sense. I can see Flora in your older videos. I can see Veronica in this video. Like, I've always heard your voice change. I've always noticed you have different personalities for different videos and occasions. All of those comments from people that have commented for years, genuinely engaged, don't just engage to fucking shit on me as a hobby. That means more to me, obviously. And also the people in my real life matters more than the internet. Everyone in my real life was like, that makes fucking sense. Okay. It's gonna be a lot to, you know, get used to. Some of them weren't familiar with the disorder, but no one who actually knows me said you didn't act like this before. So, you're a cosplayer. Yeah, I knew this one would come up. I don't think I've heard this specifically. The term LARP gets thrown around all the time for people who have DID, live action role playing. They think these people are just like LARPing. And it's funny because, like, yeah, I am a cosplayer. This one's just funny. I don't really have a response to that. I am a cosplayer. I'm working on my next cosplay now. Good work. Oh, age is less than 25. It's funny because I'm 25 now. God, yeah, pouring one out right now for anyone who has DID or OSDD and is fucking, like, yeah, younger than 25 at all, because people do not take you seriously and it is really annoying. The whole trendy TikTok attention-seeking thing definitely just gets hammered in more and more and more if you are a teenager or really early in your 20s. I was 23 when I was diagnosed and I'm 25 now, bodily. So yeah, this one doesn't really get, like, thrown at me as much, again, because I was 23, I'm 25 now. But actually today we got a really stupid, or we saw a really stupid TikTok comment that said, like, just the amount of willful ignorance that would have to go into cherry picking this information and misinterpreting it so badly. You follow DID and OSDD creators. I am sure this was talked about more in places where I cannot see. I can only imagine, because people like to stalk my every move online and be freaky little freaks about it. But before I had any inkling that I was plural or multiple or whatever, I like the term multiple. Before I had any inkling at all that anything was going on, I followed Dissociated and, like, the DID community in, like, 2019 or whatever. I also follow creators with schizophrenia, with autism, with ADHD, with OCD. I really placed importance on learning about all kinds of mental health conditions because I want to be able to understand my fellow humans more. And I know this might be fucking hard to believe or whatever, because it's, I don't know, it's a weird, like, take I have, but I made this embroidery piece once, or Jill did. It's Jill and Jer still. Mostly Jer talking this whole video, but Jill's here. We made this embroidery piece that said, learn about your friends' brains. And I just really think that's important. In our friend group, we have freaking, like, every single mental illness and neurodivergence almost. Not every single one, but it's a lovely little mixed bag, and I just think it would be a disservice to my friends, my coworkers, my classmates, and all the people in my life if I knew they had OCD, autism, ADHD, and I just didn't bother learning about it. I didn't bother ever educating myself to know how I can, like, be a better person in their life. I don't know. I care about that shit, so that's why I already follow DID, OSDD creators, as well as schizophrenia, ADHD, OCD, ASPD. It's really important to me. It's really important to me, especially because I had BPD. I was diagnosed with BPD and I wanted to learn about all the other personality disorders as well. So being aware of something beforehand is such an insane, like, criteria to say that they are lying. This blog just says, I need to shut up about mental health. Which, unfortunately, it has a little check mark. But yeah, I just figured, you know, I've gotten this before. Just, like, stop talking about it. Just shut up. Just straight up shut up. I don't think I need to touch on that one anymore. Bored of my BPD. That one, unfortunately, I got a lot. People saying I was just bored and felt like picking up something else, which is such a, like, nasty, putrid, like, vile thing to say. You got bored of your mental illness, so you just picked up another one. God, like, fucking ew. These people think I'm a evil villain from a movie. You watch anime! Again, that is another one that should be a joke, but that I have seen on that, like, stupid, like, how to spot DID fakers graphic. That was only one graphic I saw years ago. But I think on it was, yeah, like, they're too into anime, they're a weeb. Just wait for the fucking Precure Introjects. Just wait for that. This was before they knew that. The Alexandrites had a tweet that I really, really liked that said, there is no diagnostic criteria that says that you cannot just be cringe and also actually have DID. And, like, that is just so true. Some people might end up with alters that you find cringe, but your friggin' parts are gonna spawn from what your life is, and if you pour your entire psyche into a media to try and numb the pain during trauma, you guys know how introjects and fictives work. You saw Moon Knight. No, Moon Knight is not a real representation of DID, but I do really like how they depicted fictives forming. Musical theater / just acting. Just acting. I don't remember getting this comment, but there is a little, like, blobby checkmark thing. They're little bingo daubers, actually. I'm stupid. It's more Jill now. Beep boop bob. Still Jer. Still Jill Jer. Just different. Sometimes it's the same Kokon amount, but the ratio changes. Yeah, I figured I would get this. I figured people would be like, you're a cosplayer, you're a weeb, you were in musical theater, you can't have DID. You have introjects. This one doesn't have any bingo dauber murky things because I didn't tell anyone about how we had a fictive introject for a long time because obviously I was like, okay, I'm already getting a ton of hate. I know where this is gonna go. If people believe in DID, sometimes they even are a little bit like reluctant to believe in fictives or people with fictive heavy systems. We are all consuming media all day, every day, and there's only so much creativity in the human brain to just like, especially under trauma, randomly come up with a completely unique human being. Most of our alters either like heavily look like people in our lives, they look like just complete stereotypes of like a businesswoman or like the emo teen, or they are like heavily inspired by or plucked straight from media. Trying to save my channel. That one doesn't have any marks, but I was just preparing for the worst. I figured someone would say something nasty about how like it's my last ditch effort. Actually, wait, no, I do remember someone saying that. People are just horrible, man. Weird makeup / eyeliner. Yeah, again, a lot of us do weird shit, and by us I mean not just our system, but like many folks with DID sometimes will do interesting makeup that you might not have seen anywhere else, or they might have funky looking hair, and it's because we have a literal disconnect between ourselves and our body, and it doesn't feel like ours, so sometimes you'll do weird things to try and make it feel like yours. DID's not real. Classic. Classic, classic. Some people straight up don't think it's a real disorder at all. Always gonna get those. Those people will always exist. I try not to compare mental health to LGBTQ issues too much, but it really is like people that think like being gay is a choice, or that like trans people aren't real, and it's all just some panic. Like, there will always be a percentage of the world that are like flat earthers, like climate change deniers. That is what I think about those people. Something homophobic is funny. Oh yeah. Oh, always. Always. Never not. This next one is a little bit hefty. This one is, I manipulated all of the doctors. There are several theories that people have about this. So there's different, and I think all of these exist at once. People have their own ideas about what's going on here. There's either I have intentionally lied to them all and fed them the right lines to receive and fish for this diagnosis somehow, like a f***ing super villain who can exceed, like, there's no way I would get through all of that testing and lie and make it through. No way. There's the thought that I've been tricked. This is one that didn't end up being on the bingo. People have literally said that my therapist hypnotized me into having alters. Literally that he implanted them. What's that called? Iatrogenic? That my, like, health professionals, like, gave me DID or tricked me into thinking I have it so they can have a fun patient to, like, study. That is, like, conspiracy theory time.
It's no mistake that some people view DID as a non-viable diagnosis. The main critiques are it's therapeutically induced, they use hypnosis and EMDR to induce this, and that it's new and a fad. Well, the first case we see that's well documented of an exchanged personality is 1791 of a German woman at age 20. If you don't have language for something, it's hard to find it described. So you may see things where, we are legion for we are many, or quotes where someone was like, well, you know, everybody has another personality that takes over from time to time. Stuff like that. So yes, once it was named, there was more diagnosis, like with ADHD and autism spectrum. As far as it being therapeutically induced, I went to therapy because I had lost time and was experiencing a dissociative episode, even though I didn't know that's what it was called. I didn't have words for it. And long before therapy, I have documentation and journals that I was also experiencing these symptoms. There will be a longer video on my YouTube. You can go check that out.
So yeah, there's I'm faking it on purpose maliciously, there's I'm faking it but I don't know. There's probably many other, like, alternate endings of this horrible visual novel. But yeah, the conception that I tricked all, like, my therapist, my psychologist, the psychologist's assistant. This was multiple health professionals working together, talking to each other, sharing all of their experiences with me, and doing, like, an extremely detailed report. I was so extremely open about saying, I don't know what I have, I don't know what it is, I don't know what's going on. I was so far from pushing DID as an idea. I was reluctant to mention it because I didn't want to seem like that. I was really shy to mention it. And I remember when I was doing the diagnostic interview, she actually asked, some people just come in here and they say, like, I just want to know if I have ADHD. Can you tell me if I have ADHD? And so I feel like she was almost asking, do you want us just to let you know if you have DID? And I really, really urged that I want you to check me for everything equally. Every personality disorder, everything. And I was. And it came out that I have DID. It's my favorite! You can't be happy about the diagnosis. I have talked about this so much that I literally don't want to talk about it anymore at all. Oh my god, watch my last video, or the other video about it, or all of the videos on Twitter, or all of the videos by everyone talking about this horrible thing that has happened to the community. This absolute institutional betrayal. Like, I'm just revolted and disgusted and holy shit. I'm so glad I'm on the last block. All the doctors are wrong is the very last one. I guess there's nothing really new I can add to that. There's either I manipulated all the doctors or the doctors are just wrong. They just got confused. They just, little whoopsie, little slip up, little multiple hour, multiple $1,000, multiple month, casual in-depth screaming, crying, trauma evaluation, casual oopsie doopsie. Anyway, I'm done. I'm glad I was here to help film this video because this honestly makes me laugh, makes me angry, as the best things do. And, you know, I've had this video on the back burner for friggin' like a year now, and obviously I feel like it's finally time to talk about, am I faking DID? Oh yeah, no, my therapist did not hypnotize me into believing I am plural for his own benefit. The only point I didn't predict for the bingo, lol. My life is so stupid. stupid. This was a long time coming, and I'm exhausted. I'm tired, and I'm gonna go to bed. That's not true. I've been drinking Monster Energy this whole time. I'm just lying to you. Pixie looks lines on camera. Okay, bro. We are gonna go. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you don't mind the Kokon blend here. Trying to find a happy balance. We tried to film yesterday and it just absolutely was not happening. It was a different blend of parts. So trying to work with who's around, and I thought this was actually the perfect combination for this video. So yeah, love you guys, and we will see you in the next one, which isn't this one, because this one's over. Bye.